You'll notice that we are well represented. Young parents, young children, concerned not just about the message we're going to bring today, but concerned about their health and their well-being. The message we're going to bring today is basically a financial one. The fathers of the town that planned with the Planning and Zoning Commission to endorse this project without the approval of the voters, the decision was based on false economics. We have data, you have data in your packet, hard data that proves this, and we will speak to what is happening in Oxford today in terms of the slowness of growth caused by this proposed power plant. The analysis that you have is based upon hard data from the community up on the hill called Oxford Greens. It's a vibrant community, but the problem is its growth is slowing. We're going to demonstrate that the economics of the current pilot program, and pilot is payment in lieu of taxes, which means they get a special deal, not like us homeowners. So the pilot program that Wayne alluded to, that was twice voted down, last September and last February the 11th, the conclusion we draw from that is that the voters of the town do not want the plan. The voters do have the strength of saying, we do not vote for the plant. The people can't build the plant without the voters' approval. Regardless of what you hear from CPV, it's a done deal. The brashness of CPV to say, we'll build it, and this was in the Republican American, we will build it regardless of the results of the referendum. We, as voters, deserve better. Why does CPV want this plan? Purely money. That's all it is money. But there's already, the data demonstrates that this project, if it went forward, the residents, the building of residences in Oxford are going to reduce. There's evidence that this is occurring already, and I'll bring that to your attention. Should further development cease because of the plant, it would represent a loss of $67 million in taxes from Oxford Greens alone. Based on hard data. These are not promises, these are not claims, this is hard data, and you can analyze it. And we want George Temple to take a look at this. And we don't want him to come back and totally criticize because we've done his due diligence for him. We want him to take it, look at it, study it, and realize what this project is doing to Oxford. Now here's an example of what's happening in Oxford right now. Using Oxford Greens as the example, we're a 55 and older community. There is another community in Prospect called Regency at Prospect. Nationally known builders, Toll Brothers up there in Prospect, Pulte Builders here, they put similar size homes, similar costs, similar taxes. They put 66 homes on their grand list last year, 2015. Brand new homes. We put 16. Why aren't people buying in Oxford Greens? We feel it's because of the power plant. Pete, where are you? Do you have that sign, Pete? Look at that sign. This is what we will see on Putting Green Drive looking toward the power plant. Those are 250-foot stacks. And that's the smoke you'll see coming out of it. The stacks are on that drawing in proportion to the height that we will see. Why would somebody want to buy a piece of property up there, right in the shadow of a power plant? The loss of these 50 homes, the 66 built in Prospect versus 16 here, already represents a loss of $350,000 to the town of Oxford for 1 year. If the norm would be 66 homes per year, if we would be building up there, it would take approximately 8 years to build, and if we sell the remaining 520 homes, this would be $6.3 million in tax potential to the town. That's a lot of money. We've been told by prospective buyers that they're turning away from town because of the power plant. More homes, individual homes that are built already in Oxford Greens are up for sale. And the prices are lower than what they're truly worth. We think this has to do with the power plant. Why would builders come to town if they're not going to sell their homes? Now, we know why the town fathers are all excited about this pilot project. They see the $112 million. They assume that all 900 homes in Oxford Greens will be built. What a wonderful situation that'll be for the town. Well, guess what? The 900 homes won't be built. False economics. This is our message today. The town of Oxford really should have never endorsed a power plant so close to the 55 and older community. They shouldn't have endorsed the power plant because the plant itself is not needed. How many people have seen the Eversource ads on television where they're commenting upon hydroelectric power? We didn't put that on, that's Eversource. They're depending upon that. There's 1,400 megawatts of hydroelectric power just across the Canadian border that, quite frankly, it's underway. Agreements are being prepared to bring that across the border. Look what Mayor Ganem announced last week. The coal-fired power plant, which everybody was concerned about because of its health, rightfully so, is going to close down. But it can't close down because a brand new gas-fired power plant is going to be built there. Why do we need this plant? Not a clue. Look at the Beacon Falls new situation over there, where they're putting in almost pollution-free power plant. The need is not there. Let's look at the impact on the local economy. If each of the 380 households in Oxford Greens, just using this for an example, contribute up to $35,000 per year to the local economy, this is a total of $13.3 million. CPB estimates that the power plant would provide 25 permanent jobs. If each of these job holders lived in Oxford, that's kind of doubtful, and they contributed $35,000 to the community, this would only be $870,000. If the plant were not built, and the 520 additional homes are built up in Oxford Greens, this would amount to $18 million added to the local economy. This is hard data. Data we hope that Mr. Temple and his Planning and Zoning Commission look at, study, and realize that this is really not good for our community. The numbers tell the story in complete economic terms. The benefit from building the additional homes in Oxford Greens would yield up to almost 3 times the pilot proposed by CPV. And those people that buy in this community up on the hill don't have any children going to town, going to the schools. We have our own plowing of roads. We are the drain on the community. Oxford Greens has contributed up to $38,000 in scholarships to the high school over the past 6 or 7 years. So it's a net influx besides the taxes that we pay that the high school receives. The comparative dip in home sales and lower home values show the threat of building the receiving plant already having a negative effect. And lastly, in this regard, before a closing comment, is any payments proposed by CPV under the pilot program. And I remind you, the payment in lieu of taxes, where they get a heck of a lot better deal than we do as taxpayers. Those monies are fixed. Money from additional homes will rise with inflation and any increases to the mill rate over the next 22 years. It makes common economic sense to reject the agreement, which has been done twice already, and to tell CPV to take a hike. The residents of Oxford got it right. Did everybody see Voices last Saturday and read a couple of those letters in there? Roberto got it right. He said, Mr. Temple, let's comply with the will of the people. George, you don't know what's best for us. The people have said so. Don't go back to the drawing board and say, I'm going to give you a better deal. The plant is not wanted in town. Another writer, Les Wheeler from Oxford, it's the same story. Most important of all is this article that appeared in Republican American the day after the vote. George Temple pouted. He threatened. I'm going to raise taxes. I'm not going to build the school. I'm not going to build the library. Well, you know what? The town of Oxford chooses whether the school will be built, not George. The library is 85% funded already from the state of an estate of the resident. He was pouting that day. But see the picture? The pictures of Lauren Blair. She's a young mother on the day of the referendum, made her own sign. She's 2 school children, much like the young parents. There she is. There's Lauren. She contacted 50 of her friends, and they contacted their friends, and they developed the groundswell that you saw that defeated the referendum that day. I bet you didn't realize what power you had, did you? Thank you. Thank you. So the thrust of our conversation and our press conference today is bad economic data. The decision to move forward was based on bad economic data. Well, we're going to make it easy. We now will have done the due diligence for Mr. Temple and his Planning and Zoning Commission. They can look at it and say, this doesn't make any sense to have this plan. Let's encourage him to do so. Thank you again so much for coming. Hey.